Oh, why do I have this size so weird? Okay. It's a 4.7. That's better than the Gwent Reddit led me to believe. I thought it was like getting bombarded by negative reviews. How do I... Wait, how do I do this? Read all reviews. How do I filter by number of stars? Oh, here we go. Here we go. 1 star. Nothing like Gwent from the video games. Disappointed. This is not the game I played at all during Witcher 3. It's actually different in every way. There's 2 rows instead of 3. You gain points by having more units on the field instead of attacking. It's a different game, like some other reviewers said. I might as well just keep playing on my Xbox for the game. Yes, Gwent. Always known as the game where you attack your opponent's units. This game won't get past the loading screen. Let's not read an actual negative review. This is a 5-star game. Don't look at my rating. It was just to stand out. If you are looking for a Witcher 3 style game, then you will be disappointed. But it takes that game style and crafts something. Wait, this is doing a negative review. Fuck. Reddit led me to believe that there were... Okay, here we go. Beta version of Gwent is way better than this. Why bother making big changes completely new? This is a big step back. Beta version Gwent is way better, way more better in every aspect. 1, strategic. 2, trap card. 3, effects. 4, gameplay. 5, ambush. 6, etc. OMG, why y'all ruined it. There we go. That was a good one. I'm glad we read that one. Congrats! You fracked this amazing game up beyond belief. You took what was a great game in Witcher 3 and made this garbage. What idiot approved this release? So mad. So disappointed. Absolutely terrible app. Unplayable. The screen zooms in and you can't read the card effects. It's also pay-to-win shill that has at least 10 different places to buy stuff from. Graphics are cool, but way too stuttery to enjoy, so what's the point? Smooth framerate or else, why even bother? An absolute failure by CD Projekt Red, which is so disappointing because I love some of their other projects. FYI, Gwent on PC and Thronebreaker are still great ways to play Gwent-based games. Oh, well, sounds like he needs to upgrade his phone. He might need a better phone. The most terrible first experience in my life that forced me to rate a game for the first time ever. Why? 1. What's going on with the vibration each screen touch? 2. Where is the settings menu? I want to switch off the vibration. 3. Not consistent gaming experience. Game starts with a nice tutorial, but if you give up on it because you're clicking around to find the settings to turn off the vibration, you cannot get back. Certainly not worth tossing a coin to The Witcher. I respect this review. Say what you want. At least the guy has a reason for complaining that's like somewhat valid. He just can't find the option to turn off the vibration. I get it. A little extreme, but I respect it. I loved playing the original Gwent version in Witcher 3, but this is nothing like it. The siege row? Gone. Need to place cards on rows of their role, melee, archer, siege? Gone. The system where you only get 10 cards for the entire game? Gone. These things made the original Gwent unique and fun, and this is nothing but a shadow of its former self. Vibration is also poorly implemented, and the game has low FPS on a high-end device S10. 1080p, mind you, not 1440p resolution. No OG charm. Seem to have problems with vibration. We should probably do something about this. It's not like Gwent in the Witcher games, although this may be adjusted for the online experience. The animations feel uncomfortable and unnecessary. Also, this game is 3.8 gigabytes. No card game should be this much. The game really needs to work on what was good in The Witcher 3. Well, settings are really hard to find. They kind of are. Like, unironically. Like, on PC... I guess it's right here. Oh. Never mind. I thought maybe I'd be able to agree, but... I don't know, maybe they're harder to find on Android. Look, he seemed so angry about... Clearly he looked for them, right? It wouldn't have been the most terrible first experience in his life if he was able to find the settings menu. Takes a long time to load, even on a 100 megabit per second megabit per second connection. Drains battery extremely fast, even at low graphics and battery optimization. And there's no portrait mode. Seriously, who makes a mobile game on landscape? Very poor Android port. So these are the type of people that take vertical videos and upload them to WorldStar, right? This is that kind of person. This is where all those videos come from. We found it. The mystery solved. Wow. Why more games are forcing you to create an account? I just want to check the game. Maybe I like it, maybe not. I don't want to create an account, and it's a waste of the user's time to ask him to do that. Thanks, and please remove this stupid login. What have you done to this wonderful game? It's not at all like the one in Witcher 3. Why do you ruin it like this? Why? I can't understand this. Why do you change this? It's so much better in Witcher 3. I can't understand what goes through your mind to ruin it like this. This is not Gwent. I was mistaken. Typical Hearthstone, pumping out money. Tis. Pay to win and everything like that. Was better opinion about CD Proj. Everyone wants money, even guys like them. God save us all. Okay. Game starts, and you just get white screen with music in the background. Hope this gets fixed. Oh, well, that sucks for him. Nothing like Gwent in Witcher 3, unfortunately. This should have stuck with the tried and true instead of making this crappy, dumbed-down version. Definitely still in beta. Game crashes on the tutorial. Yeah, okay. As others have said, not Gwent at all, if compared to Witcher 3. Also, it is an extremely large download for such a game, almost 3 gigs. There's also the fact that once you download it, you have to create an account with your email or through Facebook. Why can't I just pick a username and have it stored on the servers like every other game? So, after all that, there's just an annoying vibration every time you click something. So I'll be uninstalling. Yikes. Not Gwent. Honestly, really disappointed, as I've been waiting so long for them to bring Gwent out as an actual game. But unfortunately, It's not like the Gwent that I have played endless hours of on a Witcher 3. They literally had the game made, all the rules set out, the cards stored, and factions done. All they had to do was put it onto a phone, and they fucked it up and made Hearthstone with Witcher characters. Hearthstone with Witcher characters. Yikes. That's aggressive. Fix your idle time. If using Skellige and Ursine ability, you will idle out and lose if you're using all 5 charges. Wait, what? Are there still delays on mobile? This was been like valid months ago. But I assumed when they fixed it for PC, they would have fixed it for mobile as well. The most unoptimized game I've ever played on my phone. Absolutely ridiculous. And I can run any other game on Ultra. This lags beyond hell and has even crashed my phone multiple times. This sounds like a sort of a valid complaint. Let's skip this one. Stuck at unpacking files 97. Okay, well, some of these are kind of valid. Deleting reviews. This is a con. You abandoned console users that spend money for years for this buggy mess. You could have done both. Only reason I can see why abandoned is so no one sees the price hike. 3 times the cost on here than it was on PC or console. Will never spend penny here as you already abandoned me several times. Once you get the money, who cares, right? Wait, what? When was... I don't think anything's increased in price. Couldn't it just be like the Witcher 3 Gwent game? Would that be difficult? Completely disappointed. Dude's talking about Gwent, not Gwent. Ah, okay. It's actually cheaper since this is a good value Android only bundle. First experience of this game is terrible. Yikes. Okay, let's I'm very disappointed. This isn't the actual Witcher 3 Gwent. Honestly, the revamp in this app is kinda horseshit. The devs are going for a Hearthstone clone, and I ain't buying. What are we doing? We're reading negative reviews for Gwent on the Google Play Store. Will not even start? Yikes. Not Witcher 3 Gwent. I just wanted to play Gwent without having to boot up my computer. Very sad. These dudes probably playing on 6-year-old phones with 50 apps open. It has compatibility things, right? Like, it'll tell you can't use it on certain devices. It says it's compatible with my device. I don't know. I imagine it'll tell you. Maybe they just don't have the compatibilities set correctly. People like Witcher 3 Gwent more? Because that's what they played. They're familiar with it. Where were we? Logging in takes too long. Have yet to get past connecting to Facebook. Signing up takes me to empty page. I am on P30 Pro. Ugh. Sounds like an issue. This is nothing like the Gwent from the Witcher series. Don't waste your time downloading this ripoff. 5 likes. Had my hopes up as I waited for this version to come out, only to get stuck on... How are people getting stuck? Was excited to play due to the fact that I loved playing Gwent in The Witcher 3, but this is not like that game, so 1 star. I thought this would be like that version of Gwent. Would have played that constantly on mobile. I think some people just want to have like a single player mobile game of Witcher 3 Gwent. And I don't think that that's crazy for them to want. Like, the more I'm reading these reviews, I think that's what people thought that they were getting into when they were downloading it. Like Thronebreaker? I mean, not even Thronebreaker, just like a really low budget version of Witcher 3 Gwent thrown into a mobile game. And I think these people would have been happy with that. Wouldn't that get boring real quick? Yeah, but mobile games get boring really quick. But it's something to pass the time. Like, these aren't dedicated people looking to play a game for a long time. They're just looking for the next thing to pass the time while they're waiting for their flight. Like, we're talking about mobile gamers. They're not really looking for the hardcore experience. These are the same people who say the Skellige deck in Witcher 3 is making it bad. I don't know. I mean, it is a different game. If it's not what they were looking for, I kind of get where they're coming from. I don't like the fact that I had to pick between using a Facebook login or secretly making a GOG account as an email login to start the game. Now, I have a GOG account that I'll never use, and I'm too lazy to delete, and it will probably get hacked one day. They should have just added a Google Play login. Nothing like Gwent in Witcher 3. It is way better than this new so-called Gwent. Yeah, and I think most of the people posting reviews like this were just looking for, like, something to pass the time while they're waiting for their flight. Or in this case, looking for something to pass the time while they sit in lockdown doing nothing. They're not looking for, like, a multiplayer experience. They just want to play Gwent. It's in beta, but Witcher 3. It's just a different thing. They're looking for a single player game. They're not looking for a multiplayer game. Like, Witcher 3 Gwent is a better single player game than current Gwent's practice mode. He said there was a pro player who listened to CDPR's vision about Gwent and then asked, "Are you sure you want this to be a card game?" Wait, what? Witcher 3 Gwent's so boring, just dump spies and decoys. Yeah, but like a majority of mobile games are just as boring as that. Like, let's not pretend that these people's standards are particularly high. They're not looking for like an in-depth game to play. Constant yikes. Download paused because Wi-Fi is disabled. That I don't have Google Translate add-on. I don't have Google Translate add-on. Come on, bot. You can do it. You can do it, bot. It maybe can't do it. I don't think it's gonna do it. Okay, chat. Can you translate this? game doesn't download while I have no internet. 1 star. Yeah. Already typed it before. Oh. What do you order me to do with that pie router? Wait, is that actually the translation? Oh no. As the other console, PS4 and Xbox, issues games stuck at loading screen, infinite loading. This is stupidity. Not like Gwent on Witcher, unfortunately. I was getting excited, but they have overcomplicated this. Honestly, they could look at this as potential for like an easy release for mobile markets, right? Launch like OG Gwent as a mobile game. They'd get positive reviews. That would sell. This can be seen as a positive for CDPR. Look at the market research they're getting out of this. The game is stuck. There's a lot of people have games stuck at loading screens. Still has a lot of bugs. Can't even get in-game. Says Wi-Fi is disabled. Checked every option. I can't find where to fix this. Probably a bug. He's definitely an average human. I have... Yeah. Yep. Not Gwent. It's an entirely different card game. Why'd you make money out of a Witcher 3 version of Gwent, though? You could try to make it like a 99-cent app where you do ad-supported. Probably ads. This ain't Gwent. Sad face. How hard is it to copy the minigame from the game, then just balance it somehow? Oh. This is fucking armchair development at its peak. This is my favorite one so far. Step 1, draw some circles. Step 2, draw the rest of the owl. Why don't I like it at all? Why did they do it completely different than the Witcher 3 game? On the brighter side, it is bringing down my hours of addiction to the game. I love this game. Invested over 1,000 hours. Unless they add support for stylus, I am not going to change my review. As a note user, you absolutely need stylus support. But what does stylus support mean? What does a stylus let you do that touch doesn't? A pen? Yeah, but why do you need specific support for a stylus? But why do you need stylus support? Doesn't the stylus just work as a touch? Yeah, but what does stylus support mean? Why can't he use a stylus? Isn't a stylus interpreted as a touch? I mean, I'm curious now. It seems like a weird problem. Like, if you care enough about stylus, I imagine this is a real thing, but I just don't know why it would be a real thing. Extra stylus button support? Yeah, but what would those buttons do? Like, if the game just doesn't need those extra buttons, it's not going to use them. Asking finger and pen. Yeah, exactly. Like, it should just work in place of your finger, no problem. I don't know why you need support for a stylus to use a stylus. Pen doesn't work with some games. That's weird. Does the way a stylus registers input different from the way touch registers input? I was unaware. It's a common problem. Huh. I'm going to save this review, because that is interesting to me. I was unaware. All it gives me is a connection error and cannot connect the servers. Loading is taking forever. So disappointed with this CD Projekt Red. Stuck at update load screen. Don't have Wi-Fi in the sticks. Stuck at loading screen, lost connection, fix your server. I can get behind that. I can't install the game. Oh, this guy has an update. Oh, but it froze. Oh. This is quite the roller coaster of a review. I can't install the game. It freezes at 97% unpacking. When I reopen it, it starts to re-download the game all over again. Update. Cleared the cache and game files. Game started, but froze again after login. Reopened it, and back to froze at 97% unpacking. Can't even log in. Tried with Facebook, and then it showed me a new screen where I needed to fill in GOG login, which then just redirected me to GOG website with no way to continue in the app. Oh, weird. How hard is it to copy the minigame from Witcher 3 into the phone? I mean, if that's what people want, maybe they should. I'm not gonna try. If I try, I'll end up insulting somebody. I don't know how they did it, but they took a good game and made it bad. It's not the Gwent you played in The Witcher 3. I mean, I do play it, but maybe they shouldn't have had 3 different versions of Gwent at one point up and running. There are 3 versions of Gwent, right? You can play Witcher 3 Gwent, you can play console Gwent, and you can play current Gwent. It's kind of funny. People don't know what they want. One of the first things you learn as a product designer. Yes, depending on what your goals are. If your goal is to get people to continually play the game, then sure. But if people are leaving reviews saying they just want to play like a Witcher 3 single-player game on mobile to pass the time, I don't think it's that crazy to at least trust them to the point where you'll get a lot of downloads and collect ad revenue. Because, like, they know what Witcher 3 Gwent is. If they just want to play exactly that as a single-player game on their phones, I think you can get a lot out of that. Tries to sell you a bunch of stuff on an incomplete game. Can't give more than 1 star. I'm experiencing endless loading after tapping to begin. I'm seeing a 1-star review saying hi from trying to... Logging take too long. Logging does take a long time. It's a lot of work to be a lumberjack. Can't access aspects of the game like store, clear cache, no dice, not gonna waste data. Aw, they responded. That's adorable. Get stuck on loading screen, crashing after loading, can't connect. Never needed so much graphics. Would have been happy with the way it was portraited on the game. What? I just portraited. Portrayed? No. No, portrayed? Portraited? I've never seen this in all caps. I can't read. Whatever. It's a mix of portraited and betrayed. Portrayed. It's not a word? Okay. Wasn't sure if it was actually not a word, or if it just looked too weird in all caps. Been trying to log in for like an hour, and a window keeps telling me that I have bad connection, which I don't. Checked several times. I tried reinstalling the game 3 times, but I stay in start window forever. Okay, once we get down to reviews that have no upvotes, I think they start being a lot less interesting. It's just like infinite loading screens. How about 2-star reviews? Surely these people saw something redeeming. 1. I can't see my hand cards during opponent turn. 2. I can't see my graveyard cards during turns. 3. Cards should open up for milling or crafting with double tap instead of long hold, press on card. Takes longer, sometimes doesn't open up at all. 4. There's lag in the deck builder. Huh. As a fan of the original Gwent, this was disappointing. They have changed so much that the game was unrecognizable from the start. The reduction to 2 lanes was also unacceptable for me. Give it a shot, see if you like it. This isn't Gwent anymore. Not in my eyes, anyway. If we keep going, the stream will end with reviews. Whatever, I'm having fun. This is enjoyable. This is content. It's not a mobile experience. It's just the game on PC, ported to mobile, and a thin API input on top. It's sluggish, animations are too much to handle for my high-end phone. This would be made with Unity. This game would just be about exporting it to another platform destination and changing viewports. Really poor effort, guys. Is it ever actually that simple? It's never actually that simple, right? As much as I wish it was. Oh my god. Pay to win game. I can't see the point checking who donated most. Players buy themselves decks that will take ages to acquire, if it's even possible. It's partially correct. Yeah, it's correct to the extent that you can probably compile something and get it so that it, like, works. But as far as making it actually playable goes, it's almost always way more work than just adjusting viewports. And even then, some of it just straight up won't work. I was trying to export the Untitled Row card game to, not Android, but to the web thing. And just like some of my scripts were just incompatible with that compilation. And it wouldn't run in browser. But I thought that would have been really cool, not needing people to actually download the game. Just be able to go to it in browser. For those expecting something resembling the Gwent from the Witcher 3 game, this is nothing like that at all. It's needlessly complicated, incredibly bloated, and full of in-app purchases. Shame. All we wanted was exactly what Gwent was in The Witcher 3. Same rules, deck customization, etc. But as a simple app, we could play with our friends or strangers. We waited years and years for this app to come out. What we got is this massive 2.65 gigabyte over-the-top app with unnecessary graphics that make the one's phone overheat and their battery cry, and to top it off, the game and cards are completely redesigned, so you have to learn it all over again. Not what I wanted. This was a fun one. Never seen people hate better graphics until today. Well, it's because they make their phones overheat and their battery cry. Interface is horrible. And for the life of me, can't find setting options, and it vibrates my phone harder than it fills. I think I have another idea for a YouTube video. Will this run on the emulator? I shouldn't do it now. Oh, this review is definitely going on YouTube, but I need to make a video for finding the options menu on Android. Seems to be a common concern. Game's great, but quickly you start getting matched against people twice your rank with custom decks. The starter decks can't cope with this, meaning plot on losing constantly or spend cash so you have enough cards to build a decent custom deck. That's not a small amount of money. Matchmaking just seems aimed at pushing you into spending cash to compete. This one's fair. Yeah, kinda. This wasn't my experience, but I can see how, for a new player, they would feel this. This wasn't my experience when I made a Smurf account, I should say. Like, you don't really start seeing many good decks until fairly high up. Like, it'll take hours before you start running into anything remotely resembling a real deck. But certainly anytime you see something that's not in a starter deck, it's going to feel bad for a new player. Because it's something that they don't have access to. Play the ST starter deck and crush so many newbies, just play the right cards, not that hard. Yeah, but these new players aren't going to be good at the game. Wasn't most of our experience come from old Gwent, where there were premium kegs weekend, shouted the rewards at every corner? Sure, sure. Like, you're going to have a much different experience being an older player playing at the low ranks, like playing at like rank 30, than you will as a new player playing at rank 30. Because knowing how the game works and how to play your cards will get you pretty far even with the starter decks. When Bush was speedrunning to pro, people had fully optimized decks to rank 28 and beat them by 20 plus. Really? I ran into one person before rank 20 that had a real deck. They were playing one of the tournament Philevangel decks, and they played it so poorly. Like, it was pretty obviously just someone who spent some money on the game and put a deck together. And those people are going to suck for new players to queue into. Even if you can beat them with worse cards. Settings on Android is in exactly the same spot as PC. I'll download it to Big Shore, but if that's true, then I don't even need to launch an emulator. That's really funny. Starts with vibration on, and to turn it off, you have to skip and then play games. Annoying. Different to the Gwent you know. Yeah, this sounds like something that I can get YouTube views on. I'm sure there's a non-zero number of people searching Google how to turn off vibration in Gwent. Free ad revenue, baby. Free ad revenue. It's just not Gwent. I loved it in The Witcher 3, but this is different. Too different, and not in a good way. Shame. I was looking forward to this. You Googled it, one head. Oh. It's not Gwent. It's a simple Magic the Gathering clone. Not worthy of the name Gwent. More like Witcher card game. Have these people played these other games? Have they played Magic? Have they played Hearthstone? How do you even come to that conclusion? The only similarity is that, like, you're playing with cards. Gwent's also a poker clone, by the way, for those of you unaware. I did not like this game at all. I was really excited to get to play it, but it's true. It's not the same Gwent. I love the video game Gwent. Oh, Gwent. This is very disappointing. I got bamboozled by the misspelling and the correct spelling. Casual gamers call card games the same all the time. I just don't... At least when you're comparing it to Hearthstone, they're both, like, mobile games. And that I guess there's Arena now? I don't know how mobile-y Arena is. And maybe that's what they're comparing? But there's, like, no similarities between Gwent and Magic. It's not Gwent. It's a completely different card game with Witcher characters. Such a disappointment. Graphics and gameplay was great. Anybody has issues with Samsung S10 Plus? Fits horribly on the screen. Card description boxes are barely visible. Some text and images stretched out over 90 plus of the screen. And other is microscopic. We'll wait for a patch. Ugh. A lot of them are Magic clones. Yeah, I could see calling Hearthstone a Magic clone. I wouldn't call it that, but I at least get where they'd be coming from. It's the same people who say PoE is Diablo clone. I mean, I would argue that all of those are closer than Gwent is to Magic, pretty significantly. This is like saying... Okay, let me... This is like saying Crash Bandicoot is a StarCraft clone. Oh wow, we both thought Crash Bandicoot. Oh, cool. Wait. PoE is supposed to be Diablo 3. Yeah, exactly. Like, one's very clearly inspired by the other. It's kind of hard to point out what in Gwent is even inspired by Magic. StarCraft comparison is meh. Yeah, Dark Souls is probably better. I wanted to go with two things that were video games, but very clearly different. Scenarios are kind of like sagas. Yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing. But even then, they work pretty differently, right? Sims a StarCraft clone? Because they have the same camera. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Game gets into action straight away, not even allowing you to turn off the annoying vibration option. Can't even see the settings button anywhere while you're forced to play match after match. I want to give 5 stars, but the loading is so long that it causes me to get anxious and frustrated. Oh no. Oh no. Game freezes at loading screen. A lot more difficult to use than the PC version. No option to mill spare cards. Mandatory tutorials are kind of dumb. You can skip the tutorials though, can't you? I thought they added that somewhat recently. Like when they launched on iOS. Because there was a review earlier that said they skipped the tutorial. Can't change the setting before finish. Yeah. You can't play it again after you skip. You can. You go reward book. Oh god. It's somewhere in here. I know there's a way to do it. There used to be, at least. Because I accidentally ran into it. They removed it? Why did they remove it? Wait, of all the things to remove, why would you remove that? If I tried the mobile version? No. Why did they remove it? Oh no. I found this game got some balance issue on matchmaking. Sometimes I match with opponent level who is more advanced than my level and also have more and better cards than me. Example, me at level 9 had to face level 15 opponent. Sometimes with better cards and skins purchased with real money. Please fix this CPR. Yikes. Level 15. Spooky. Sluggish and not fun to play. Overly complex, not all like a sub-game in The Witcher. Device problem. Horrible tutorial. You don't understand what you have to do. I don't think that was the issue I had with the tutorial. Login error, can't play after account copying, game stuck in loading screen. This is nowhere close to Gwent as it's played in Witcher 3. Not what I was expecting / hoping for. Might uninstall. Just maybe though. Ooh, 97% again. So much changes since the alpha. Good game. Shame out having to spend hours milling cards. Why not have a mass mill button? Oh, they did this to themselves. This is These are funny to me. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't laugh about them, but... I mean, he's right? Like, people weren't around 30 days ago. There was a mass mill button. There's going to be a mass mill button again, but they couldn't roll it back all the way. Of all the times to rework the mill button, they picked the worst. Yeah, exactly. Game is way too damn big. Plus, another major download within. Listen, I really like Gwent, but this game simply doesn't want to load at the beginning. Not even close to Gwent. Moreover, a 2.5 gigabyte game. Good game, horrible app. Especially connectivity. Gwent. There's a lot of Gwent. Was it like this in another language? Was Gwent localized to Gwent for another region? I know it was Gwent in Polish, I think. G never becomes a Q. I mean... it's just a weird change that... It's a weird mistake to see this so many times. This is not the first review to spell it with a Q. How can a G become a Q with a typo? I don't know. I don't think it's that crazy to think that they typoed the word Gwent in one of the localizations of Witcher 3. G and Q look alike. But they're on, like, the other sides of the keyboard. Whatever. Kinda cool, but it's not the actual Gwent game from The Witcher 3. Q is not G in Polish. I didn't say that. I said it was Gwent in Polish, not Quint. I was saying, was there another localization that changed the G to a Q? These are the Gwent reviews on the Android Play Store. Stuck at loading screen. Great game. Unfortunately, it's pay to win, at least early on. In Witcher 3, Gwent is better. We'll need a fast phone to run without crashing. Convoluted gameplay, no option for single player, PvP only. Stick with Hearthstone. Plus nice rework and animations. Interesting cards. Yeah, this does feel kind of important if you're going to be a mobile game, right? This seems like a valid complaint. Like a very valid complaint. That, like, isn't something that matters if you were just, like, a PC or console player. Training mode's not a thing. Training mode's awful. Compare, like, that to, like, dungeon runs in Hearthstone. Adventures, yeah. Play hours and hours with AQ. Yes, hours and hours with the AQ that uses all of its leader charges. Turn 1, round 1. There's no rewards to it either, where, like, dungeon runs, I think, have rewards. I know adventures have rewards, even if you have to pay for them. Feels incredibly clunky. It's not even remotely close to Gwent, so I'm not sure why they use the name. If you're looking for PC Gwent, ignore this. Yeah, he seems unaware. The game is missing key descriptive details, including definitions for some terms on cards, such as dominance, which is a card ability that isn't explained in the card's description, and explanations of some basic game elements, like the strategies involved in building a deck. The game itself is pretty bland. You place cards and hope you end up with more points than your opponent, using strategies that your opponent is almost powerless to interrupt because cards can't attack each other. Can you not see tooltips on mobile? You definitely can, right? Oh, wait. Why doesn't this say... It says what dominance is here, but it doesn't say, like, dominance colon. This does seem like a big oversight, actually. Is that on all of them? It is. Has it always been like that? Oh, the tooltips are so inconsistent. Look at Harmony. They're all weird. There's no consistency between the... Yeah, here, Harmony boosts health by 1. I think, like, Defender is weirdly formatted, too. Yeah, Defender doesn't say that it's a status, or most of the other statuses will. No, this doesn't say what Resilience does, either. You can infer it. You shouldn't have to infer it. This should be clear. It should be clear and it should be consistent. Also, I don't think you can that easily infer that Defender is a status as a new player. If all the other statuses say that they're statuses and this one doesn't, that's pretty easily misleading. This seems like something that wouldn't be hard to fix. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It should just be modifying some text files. It might be hard to fix it in, like, every language, but... You're talking about dominance? I mean, what's a complicated card that does dominance? Like, what is this? Do you only get the deploy if you're triggering with the highest power on the battlefield? How do you know that this is what dominance means? You can guess because it's like red text, but all the other red text is explained with red text colon. And like here, is this referring to dominance or is it referring to like the whole effect? Is it referring to the cooldown too? There's just no reason for there to be confusion here. Also, why is it bold? Yeah, yeah. Ugh. Getting fixed by the next update, it better be. I would hope so. How long has it been like this, though? I never really looked, because I never needed to. Overly complicated, confusing, seems to be based on luck and not fun at all. Controls suck and assume you should know everything, even though the obvious options don't do squat. What about the part with can't attack each other? Because your cards, there's no combat. In like Hearthstone, if your opponent has a threat on the board, you just throw your units into it and attack it. You need specific cards to interact with units in Gwent. I love the game very much, but I can't install it. Please help. I'm having a problem while installing, not downloading. Ew. This game is very much different from The Witcher 3's Gwent, which is very disappointing as a player of the franchise who was excited for this app. The changes they have made are confusing for previous players of The Witcher, especially in terms of card perks, spies, because they have been changed. It wouldn't be too bad of a game if it wasn't advertised as Gwent and causing a lot of confusion, because the ads bring in players of the series already familiar with the previous version. He just wants to play spies, man. This game is more like speculation to Witcher 3 Gwent than the Gwent itself, which is disappointing, and the app performance is really bad. Loading everywhere, drawing card, starting level, ending level, opponent movement, etc. And it takes an eternity to load anything. Also, in-game vibration settings is out of sync. Some kind of delay. Game is more like speculation to Witcher. That's gotta be autocorrect, right? The game is not bad, but I was expecting to play Gwent. This is just a card game based around the idea of Gwent, with some characters from The Witcher. I don't know, man. All that I'm seeing here is that CDPR would get a lot of downloads if they just released Witcher 3 Gwent on phones. Depending on what metrics they're looking to maximize, might be a good idea. Thought it was the Gwent card game from Witcher 3. Instead, it's just a counting game with occasional flashes. Card graphics are great, though. Big CD Projekt and Witcher 3 fan, but this game still sucks. It told me I can't run this game in my area. What? Won't download. That's all the 2 stars. How about 3-star reviews? Surely we're gonna start getting a little more reasoned here. How many? I can't. Let's see from here. So far, it's a great game. I will say it's somewhat different than the Witcher version, but it did need fleshed out to make a more competitive game. Tons of things you can earn through playing, or if you have some money, there's tons to buy. I will say I hope there's no limited time offers, which a lot of games do, as to try to force your hand into buying it. If you want everything in the game. I'll update this later since it's too early to tell, but definitely worth checking out. Respect that. Well, 4-star reviews. What do they have to say? There's a problem with skipping the turn, where it will close the app if you try. 4 stars. Huh. That's 206 upvotes. Huh. That seems like a very generous review for a serious problem. Really glad this finally hit Android. Fun CCG and gets a lot of support from the devs. Been playing this since the early beta, and the meta has changed a lot, sometimes too fast. But if you're a Witcher fan and enjoy gorgeous artwork, then this is a great game to have. Not really pay to win, as it's easy to buy card packs and only focuses on cosmetic goods. The reason I don't give this 5 stars, the text wasn't optimized for mobile phones like Hearthstone. Ah, it's Slama. It was 4 stars instead of 5. To make it less obvious. Fun game, similar to the Gwent played in The Witcher. Wow, great strategy card playing game. I love playing Gwent in The Witcher 3 and having a mobile app for it. It's slightly different. It's amazing. Very addictive, okay? Yeah, these are, okay. This is an in-depth 5-star review. Okay, guys. So to get it clear, this is not a copy of the same game from The Witcher 3. It was very much like that in beta, but I was an original beta player, so I've seen the evolution of it. It is the same game that has been on PC and formerly consoles. I'm glad to get back into it since consoles no longer supported. It does have its flaws starting out, but overall it's the exact same game that I grew to love, and it will get better over time. CD is on top of it. Thank you guys for the port. Okay. So now that we've had a sampling of all the levels of reviews, I think that's enough enough YouTube review reading.